3.5 hours later.
Okay.
So the total flying time from California to Hawaii to the Philippines to Vietnam was about 21 hours.
Okay.
I was one tired kid getting off that plane.
Tired of riding.
Tired of riding, yeah.
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 Just wanted to get where I was going.
Yeah, yeah. And was it a full jet of military?
Oh, yes.
From California to Hawaii? And
It was filled
okay.
all the way. I forget how many people, but the jet was filled.
Mm-hmm. Did you guys have your weapons with you at that
No.
time? No weapons. Okay.
No, you don't carry weapons on airplanes even then.
Okay. Okay. All right. So once you get to Cam Bay, what happened then?
First impression of Cam Bay, you get off and you see all these people that are coming home, and they look pretty beat up, and they have this blank stare, like they just left a place that was not real, and they can't wait to get on and go back to what they called the real world. You know, what I later learned to call the real world, because being in Vietnam was not like being in the real world at all. I think it was the 90th Replacement Company is the first company that you're assigned to when you get there, and we stayed for about, I think it was a night or two, and I just remember that the smell of burning human excrement was everywhere. Everywhere. You couldn't get away from that smell. They were burning it in barrels, and the fires and the smoke were just burning, and it was overwhelming.
That was their sanitation system?
That was their sanitation system, burning it, right. I think about a couple days later, we flew from Cam Bay after we got our assignment, flew to Da Nang, and Da Nang we were there for I think about 2 weeks awaiting orders to go to farther north to Phu Bai, which was just about 25 clicks south of the demilitarized zone. In Da Nang, I remember that I couldn't sleep for 2 weeks. Every 2 minutes, there was 2 Marine jets taking off in pairs every 2 minutes, kicking in their afterburners, and the sound was so deafening you couldn't hear yourself think. And in between the jets taking off, there was artillery going off. 155, I think it was, howitzers, and the sound of those howitzers was like jarring. And I learned later that that sound was a good sound because it was going the other way. In February of '68, when the sound was coming in, it's a different sound. And that's the sound when you run for your life. Because you don't know where it's going to land.
Sure.
And all you see is a flash of light. Then you hear it, and then you feel it. And you hope that it doesn't land where you are.
Sure, sure.
So.
Okay. Now, when you got there, were you still assigned to the? Did your whole company go or were you just?
Not the whole company. When I went to Vietnam, my class, we went as a class. There was about 30 of us.
Oh, okay.
And we basically all went together, ended up at the same place at the same time.
Okay.
So from Massachusetts, we all went to our residences across the country, met in California, left on a plane from California to Hawaii, to the Philippines, to Cam Bay, and then on to Da Nang, and then on to Phu Bai.
Okay, so you guys stayed together up to
Yes.
Phu Bai. Okay.
Yes.
So I assume you made some pretty good friends now.
Yes, we did.
You guys were kind of bonded, so to speak.
Yeah, from all over the country.
Right, right. Okay, now once you got up to Phu Bai?
Phu Bai,
Okay.
right.
What was that all about?
Phu Bai was called the 8th Radio Research Field Station. That's what the Army Security Agency called a listening post.
Okay.
We were surrounded by the 3rd Marine Division and about 4,000 landmines with barbed wire around our perimeter. So we would have guard duty in shifts where we would have to go out and do the old, halt who goes there if anybody comes near you. But where we were, if anybody was coming through, they were going to be blown up because of the landmines.
Right.
And one night on guard duty, I'll never forget, a friend of mine and I were just sitting quietly, and we heard some sounds, and we didn't know what it was, and we listened, and we listened, and we listened, and then there was an explosion. And then there was blood and guts all over us, and we found out it was a dog. A dog a stray dog walked through the minefield and hit a mine, and blew up right next to us. So that was a little bit unnerving.
Sure, sure. Well, I guess it would be. What was life like at Phu Bai?
To tell you the truth, for the